Hello friends all over the world. As you can read in our vision and mission statement, I hold that the core system is not the one that heals, but it is God, it is the divine, it is the spiritual source, it is the originator, the creator, that is the source of all healing. In the end, it's the source of all healing. And now I want to give you a little idea on how I see the role of the core system. The core system is to me a tool. It's a mediator, a facilitator. It is really like our soul that connects the physical and the spiritual world. So, as I said, in my world, in the world we teach at AIM, there is physical energy, and then there's information, and there is the spirit. So now, it was always known that there's matter and energy by Einstein, and Einstein thought it's all that there exists. Then there were always the ones who thought, yes, there is some God, there is some spirit, but they were either divided or they kept it secret for themselves. So now, really what is coming again and what has been lost for the last few hundred years is the idea of the intermediate, the informational world, that is that realm that connects both worlds. And as I said, I see the core as a tool to make this connection. So now, why do we need a connection? And here we have to understand that the physical has its own laws, and the physical has been created, of course, also by God, but He made it in such a way that it runs by itself, by its own laws, and it's of course not allowed that the Creator just makes little changes here and there to things that He created long ago. But there is again a borderline. There is a very narrow touching point, and this is all the things that are not really physical and that are also not really completely spiritual. So all the moments where we are in a labil state, or where physical laws are in a labil state, or where physical objects are in a labil state, this is really the moment where the next moment is not predictable. Really, this is what is the area where physics has the greatest problems, because these are random event generators. And we can be in this random event situation as often as we want, but in fact, most of our life is completely predictable. We go the same ways, we have the same opinions, we eat the same food, we have the same pattern in our life, so we are not in this labil state most of the time. So this is the reason why we are not under the influence of the spirit, because as in my philosophy, we are only influenced by the spirit in those moments where we are in a labil state. So this is what intuitives do when they get in a psychic state, in a state of ecstasy, in a state of like John of God, trance, to be in this labil state where he is not the doer, he is not the one who creates his actions and his thoughts. And when you are in this state, you are not predictable. You don't know even what you will do in the next moment. So here is the function of the core, to create something like this, that we don't have to do it all the time, because we are not really used to do it, nor do we really know how to do it most of the time. So the core for this purpose has a labil element, and that's what I call the hologram generator, which is a semiconductor that is not predictable, that is in this labil state. So this is in a way the antenna for the spiritual world, that we can receive the messages from the spiritual world without having to be in this labile state ourselves. Because I can tell you, when you have dedicated your life to this dynamic labile equilibrium, to this labile state, it is not always easy. As you can see, I have not stayed in the same bed for the last 2 years, more than 3 days. I have not eaten the same food more than twice. I have not spent more time with the same people except with Deborah for more than a few days. And I know now this is the way to be more creative, to be more in tune with your spirit, but it is not possible for everybody. So that's how I see the role of the CoRe system. It is your intuitional tool, and I hope you use it this way and not as like a hammer or an X-ray or a drug that is doing the job. No, it is just a tool to connect you or your client to the informational world, to the spiritual world, by means of the informational world. And that we consider God the Creator to be the ultimate reason for healing is not touched by this. It is actually the reason how we can explain the connection of God and the Spirit and CoRe and the matter and energy world. These 4 levels are connected, more or less, and the CoRe is the tool to connect the physical and the spiritual world. Thank you.